Hey guys, Mr. B here. In this video, it's just going to be going over some practice on determining the charges of ions and different elements as well as naming them. So this sheet can be found in the description of this video if you want to do it yourself. I'm not going to do the whole thing, but I am going to go over a lot of it just to give you some practice. And there's some notes on the front of it as well that is very helpful. So we're going to be dealing with monoatomic ions. That just means ions that are made of one atom. We'll learn about polyatomic ions later in this course, but regardless. So this is just some notes. It tells us here that elements in group number or column number 1, these elements will lose one electron to form +1 ions. So elements like sodium, lithium, and potassium. And on the periodic table, that would be all of these elements here. Okay, so basically it's saying all of these elements make a charge of +1 because they all lose one electron. It then says elements in group or column number 2 will lose 2 electrons to form +2 ions. So that means on the periodic table, all of these elements here in the second column will make +2 ions. All right, cool. So that seems pretty simple. It's talking about groups 3 through 12, which are all of the transition metals. So those are all of these ones, which we are not going to be worrying about in this chapter. So we are just going to ignore those for right now. So let's keep on looking at what it says. Group number 13, or would be 3A. These elements lose 3 electrons to form +3 ions. So that's talking about this one right here. Okay, this is +3. That's these ones. Okay, right there. And then these ones here make +4, or they can also make -4. But to be honest, we're not actually going to deal with this whole column because it's a little bit more confusing. So we're actually just going to ignore this whole column, okay, at least for right now. And then these ones, this is column 5. So these will make charges of -3. This will make charge of -2. This will make a charge of -1. And of course, this column doesn't make any ions because they already have 8 valence electrons, which means they don't need to gain or lose electrons. Okay, so that has some little notes on it on the sheet, and we're going to use this to do this sheet of practice. Okay. Also, there's some stuff here down at the bottom. So it says naming ions. So cations, which are positive ions. When we name them, we just name them by saying the element and adding the word ion. So for example, sodium as an ion is called a sodium ion. Pretty straightforward. Mg, magnesium, is called a magnesium ion. Okay. Whereas anions, which are negative ions, are named by dropping the ending off the element name and adding "ide." So F is called fluoride, not fluorine. O is called oxide, not oxygen. And N with a charge of 3- is called nitride, not nitrogen. All right, so this is something we're going to keep in mind because we are going to be using that on our practice here. Okay, so let's take a look here. So it has a bunch of different element names. We have to give the element symbol, the ion name, and the ion formula. So first, let's deal with element symbol. Okay, so sodium. All right, so we're going to have to find these things on the periodic table, and some of these elements you might know, but I would assume most of them you probably don't. So sodium is here on the left, okay, Na. So we are going to put element symbol in here, Na. As for ion, let's do ion formula, then ion name, okay? So Na, sodium, is in the first column on the periodic table, which means it will make a charge of +1. So for its ion formula, it will be Na, and then we're going to do this little button up here, superscript, plus. Okay, now we can write +1. However, in chemistry, we oftentimes don't write the ones. So if it's +1, we just write plus. Okay, but this is a cation, which means that when we name it, we are going to name it as the regular element and then add the word ion. So sodium ion. That's it. Okay, let's look at number 2, bromine. So bromine on the periodic table is over here on the right, okay, Br. All of these elements make a charge of -1. So element symbol is Br. Ion formula will be Br with a charge of -1, which again, we're not going to write the 1, but we will put the minus, so just Br minus. And as for this one, this is a negative ion. It's an anion, so when we name it, we need to have that "ide" ending and tack that on there. So this is going to be called a bromide ion, not a bromine ion. All right, let's take a look at number 3, magnesium. So on the periodic table, magnesium here is in column 2. So the symbol is going to be Mg. As for the ion formula, if it's in column 2, all of these make a positive 2 charge. So this is going to be Mg and then 2 plus. So 2 plus. Okay, so there is our ion formula. And this one is a positive ion. It's a cation. So when we name it, we don't need to change anything. We can just call it a magnesium ion. And that's it. All right, let's take a look at number 4, chlorine. So let's find chlorine. Chlorine is over here in column 7. So it has a charge of -1. So for our element symbol, we have Cl. Ion formula, it's going to make a charge of -1, just like bromine did. It's in the same column that bromine is in, so Cl minus. And it is a negative ion. It's an anion, so when we name it, we need to have that "ide" ending. So we will call it a chloride ion, okay, not a chlorine ion. All right, so hopefully you're starting to get the gist of this. So let's do a couple more, and then I'm going to just end there. And again, this worksheet is in the description of this video, so if you want to do the rest of it on your own, you can. It is a PDF. You will need to open it up in Cami, so you can type on it, but otherwise, you know, you should be able to do it no problem. Otherwise, you can always do these maybe in a notebook or on a piece of paper just by looking at it. So either way, again, let's do a couple more here. So let's do number 6, boron. So let's find boron. Boron is right here in column 3. So it's going to make a +3 charge as an ion. So first off, element symbol is B. Oh, that is not the right box. That is the right box down here. Okay. It is going to make a charge of 3+. So B 3+. So again, it's in column 3 on the periodic table. Okay, right there. And since it's a positive ion, it is going to just be called a boron ion. Okay, no need to change the ending. Remember, we only do that for negative ions. All right, let's take a look at number 8, neon. All right, so let's find neon. Neon, let's actually erase some of these other ones here that we circled. Neon is right here. All right, so this one's a little bit interesting because neon is in column 8. So what kind of charge is that going to have? Well, it's a trick question. Neon isn't going to make ions because it already has 8 valence electrons. So for this one, the element symbol, of course, is Ne. But the ion formula is doesn't have one because neon doesn't make ions. So the ion name, same thing, doesn't have one because neon doesn't make ions. It's a noble gas. So a little bit of a trick question. All right, I'm going to pick 2 more just at random here, and then that will be it. And again, if you want to do the rest of this one on your own, you can do so. So let's do number 13, nitrogen. So let's find nitrogen on the periodic table. Nitrogen is here. So it's in column 5, which means it will make a charge of 3-. So element symbol is going to be N for nitrogen. And the ion formula will be N with a 3- on it. And the ion name will be a nitride ion because it is a negative ion, so we need to have that "ide" ending on there, okay? We only have to put that on for negative ones, and this one is negative. All right, let's take a look at one more. Let's look at number 18, barium. So barium, let's find barium on the periodic table. Barium is right here. So it's in column 2, which means it will make a +2 charge. So barium symbol is Ba. The ion formula will be Ba with a 2+ on it. And as for the ion name, because it's a positive ion, we do not need to have the "ide" ending. We can just simply name it barium ion. All right, so that is it. That's all I'm going to do. But again, if you want to continue doing the rest of these, by all means, I recommend doing so and encourage you to do so you get some good practice. If you want to know if you're doing it right, you can always send it to me and I can take a look at it. But otherwise, hopefully after watching this video and these ones, you have a pretty good idea of what you're doing. So, all right, guys, that's it for this one. I'm Mr. B. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Bye.